save my soul. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. Come on to save my soul.
Something's not right here. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but something's not right. When the crank is spun over and all the timing marks are lined up because of jump timing, when they're all lined up it has full tension. But if I spin it over 180 degrees, as you guys saw, it doesn't.
business type thingy.
Hang on.
That's weird, dude. That's weird. You don't want that.
I can hear it clicking all the way down at the rod. So, as we've seen, that engine has failed. It still ran, just not very well. It looked like it was like heavily down on compression, and it looks like as you guys saw, it looks like the rings are pretty much gone. Like there's like a mile of piston to wall clearance right there, and it could just be that the rings are just old and worn and whatnot. Like I said, we have no idea how many miles are on that engine. We just know it's about 7 years old at this point. So there is signs of failure in the oil pan. It's not crazy, it's cleanable. It's to the point right now where we can clean everything, for the most part, reuse it all and put it all back on, thankfully, because we caught it so early that everything was still fresh that it's only a glitter at this point. There's no chunk. Now, I don't heavily advise you guys do this, but it is up to you if you want to. This is pretty early onset of bearing failure. You can see that was brand new oil. You can see a little bit of metallic down there. Don't quite know what happened, but I can tell you one thing. I'm pretty sure it's just the rings. The rings have just chooched themselves. So this block is gonna go in the garbage. It's not worth saving. I am gonna pop off that oil pump, clean it, and then reuse it and whatnot. For right now, this is the new engine. It's a fresh RA block that I've been keeping around, so I'm gonna slap this guy together and hopefully get this thing back in the car in this video and hopefully get it running again. So let's start transferring parts over from the old engine to this engine. Luckily, we don't have to resurface the heads or anything like that. I am going to clean these, but because they've been redecked already, there's not really a need to go back to the machine shop and remachine all this stuff. So let's start putting our new engine together, baby. RA block. As much as I hate to interrupt my friends, today I gotta talk to you guys about today's video sponsor before we get back to working on the 04. Now, if you guys have been watching for the channel for any period of time, really at this point, you know we've been working with Techron for a while. So today we're gonna be talking about their complete fuel system cleaner. Now, the fuel system cleaners I use in pretty much every single one of my cars. This 04 is going to be no exception because it is 200,000 miles. It's kind of an unknown history. It doesn't hurt to take the time and do the precautions to ensure that your fuel system stays clean. Now, what this complete fuel system cleaner is going to do is it's going to help clean, protect, and eliminate a lot of the deposits that build up in your fuel system. And especially with some of the older cars like this one, you can have issues where your fuel hanger starts to get sticky, you're not getting accurate fuel level readings anymore, you may have contamination or buildup in there. This is going to help protect it from that future contamination as well as clean out whatever you may have in there. Now, for all of my E85 friends, because I preach this every time I talk about this stuff, I use this stuff in all of my E85 cars. Now, do not be mixing this with ethanol. Use this on pump gas only, but whenever you swap from ethanol back over to pump gas, run one of these through your fuel system and it's going to help protect it against the corrosion that ethanol is accustomed to doing. Super easy to use as well. Make sure you got a full tank of gas, pop the top off, pour it right in, bada bing, bada boom. You got a clean fuel system. Now let's get back to this 04. just like that, we have a new engine for the STI ready to go back in. Now, we did tear apart the old short block last night to try to diagnose and find what the failure was, and it looks like it was main bearings, because all the main bearings have some pretty, I'm not going to say, it's not catastrophic, but it is significant wear on the bearings, to the point where there was probably some play in the crankshaft, and it was just making some fun noises. Also explains all the material that we found in the oil pan, the piston rings, all that stuff, nothing in there was broken. Had Manley H tough connecting rods, Manley pistons, OEM pre-nitrated crankshaft. But let me show you these bearings, and then let's get this engine in. I'd like to get it started today, but my power steering rack is somewhere lost in a snowstorm, so can't get it started. Get the engine back in though. So I got a couple of the bearings here. This one is indeed a rod bearing. You guys can see all the wear on the back side of that rod bearing, as well as the wear on those main bearings right there. Now, while I did have all this apart, I did decide to cut open the oil filter. While I didn't find any major chunks, all that was in there was really glitter. There was glitter in here. This was an oil sample that I pulled out, but I kind of spilt it, so I lost all the glitter. I mean, we can just tell from these bearings, man, that they've lived their life in a manner in which they have done their job, and it is now time for them to go to the great beyond. Alright guys, that's where we're going to be stopping on the 04 right now. I don't want to completely reassemble this entire engine bay quite yet. I'm still waiting on my power steering rack to show up, which I think is delayed due to weather. From what I've seen, it looks like random places are getting random amounts of snow. It was supposed to be here like 4 or 5 days ago. FedEx still hasn't dropped it off yet. UPS is doing a similar thing with some of my other packages that I've had out for delivery, so it's no big deal. Very pleased with this. We have gotten a lot of work done in this video. Old engine out, new engine built, new engine in, pretty much reassembled. All I really have to do at this point is put the intercooler piping back in there and hook up the air oil separator. We're pretty much good to go on that thing. So as soon as that power steering rack comes in, we'll jump back on this guy, get it running again. The big thing for me is I didn't want this car being down for an extended period of time. I really just wanted to get it back on the road. So I had that spare RA block sitting around. That's not the permanent motor that's going to be staying in this thing. We're going to do a semi-built rod piston motor that's going to be going in here, but for the time being, this will get us by. So if you guys like the video, if you like this new style of video too, where it's a lot more just kind of like working with a little bit of music, I'm just testing the water here, trying something a little bit different. Please let me know down in the comments. Put like a fun emoji, like a panda emoji, because my dude, I like pandas. They're like big, soft, cuddly little Michelin tire bear things that just look so nice, and they just hang out and eat eucalyptus all day. Who doesn't want that? Anyways, with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.